Hello, everybody. Welcome to Watching the Elite Live. It's me,
Woo!
Frank. I'm here with Chuck. The music's not
Yo.
playing. You can see Chuck this time. You can also see the back of my green screen. Let me angle that around a little.
I don't believe in
Right
green
up.
screens. It's against my religion.
You're a blue screen guy through and through.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
feel
blue
like a-
screening in a bedroom behind me. I don't know if you can tell right now.
Nice.
I'm trying to go for like a lo-fi aesthetic, you know?
You're going for YouTube guy aesthetic.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna start complaining about, I don't know, leaving Britney alone. How old is that reference? I'm not sure.
400 years.
Okay,
So,
cool.
if you're just joining us for
Cool.
the first time, Chuck and I, we talk about everything related to all Elite Wrestling. We talk about, this week, we're going to be talking about the Deadly Draw. We're going to be talking about
That's right.
AEW Dark. We're going to be talking about Being the Elite. We're going to be talking about Dynamite. There's a lot of stuff to get through this week.
So much stuff.
There's an amount of hashtag content that I am just like 11 matches, right? 11 matches
Yeah.
this week.
It's too many. We've said this like a couple weeks in a row now. It's too many. You can keep it. You can keep some of these. Like, thanks but no thanks.
Yeah. So, start things off. I don't have a graphic for it this week, but we're going to be talking about the Daily Draw twice because we've got the standalone show that just concluded
Yes.
on Mondays, and then we're going to have the finals that were on the special Saturday edition of Dynamite. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention the Chuck Cam.
Yeah.
Sirx, Chuck is visible now.
I'm honestly, it's gonna take me a while to get used to this. I'm used to being able to like mute my mic and like blow my nose or shift in my seat, so I'm really on the spot now. I'm visual. I don't
do
know.
that anyway.
Good
Makes for an
point.
awful experience for the viewers.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
we got it going. It works. The
That's
system
great.
works. This is
I'm here for it.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so no graphic for it, but it's basically part of Dark. Let's be honest.
Same difference. It's like a half an hour. It's just call it Dark 2.0. You know.
Yeah. But Deadly Draw Night 3.
Yes.
It's the semifinals. I think we all know how this ended now, but just to run through the semifinal matches, Nightmare Sisters versus the Swole Sisters, as I have called them.
Sure. Yep. The Sisters Swole.
So, I love Nicole Savoy's look this week. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Brandy dialed back, like maybe a little bit of the. Actually, no, she didn't.
It's a little weird. Yeah, she's
dialed
full.
things- Yeah,
Leaning full into this like little Brandy action figure thing.
yeah. It's a lot, and was like kind of a big shift to make after her and Allie were already teamed.
Well, yeah, and also like it doesn't it kind of like take away some of the tension that made their team so interesting. Now that they seem to like be on the same page more or less, like Brandy's
Well, they're on the same
basically a
page,
heel.
but like Brandy wants to be the center of attention and is kind of a heel now. It was a weird. AEW usually justifies its shifts,
Yes.
but Brandy just kind of switched one week, where it was like
Yeah.
she was playing like the straight man to like Allie's like wacky center of attention character, and now she's
Yep.
like, well, now I'm gonna be the center of attention, and maybe that has kind of made them cohere more as a team. But I
Totally.
thought it was a little. I also thought it detracted a lot from like the look. Here's the thing: it's a fun tournament. It's not
Yep.
a very serious one. It's a fun tournament. It did detract a little bit, I think, from the fact that they're actually doing something with the women's division. Like,
Yeah.
very very sports entertainment. I actually thought this was the Nightmare Sisters' best match so far.
100%. Brandy has improved significantly.
I mean, she's wrestling. That's the thing. Is like Brandy's like people like have really like crapped on like Brandy as a wrestler. I think Brandy's good. It's just she doesn't wrestle very often. And now she
100%.
is.
The hatred of Brandy online is very strange to me. It's super toxic. It's weird. I don't want to like imply that there's other things going on with the animus directed at her. You know, maybe it's for other reasons. You know, you can read into that what you will, but it's weird that she is this lightning rod for so much negative attention. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah.
And you hate to see it. However, I think this is in fact the worst finish ever in AEW for this match.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
It
More-
was like
more
a,
so
it was a
than kind of
distraction
the way-
roll up, man. It was like this is
Yeah.
the most WWE finish they have ever done.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know they're trying to, you know, it's two birds, one stone booking. They're trying to further the Britt Baker Big Swole storyline. give them an out for why the Swoles are defeated by the Nightmare Sisters, even though you could actually argue that Big and Little Swole have more experience as the tag team, are the better functioning team, probably should have gone over here. I get it. Again, these things are fine in small doses. You know what I mean? If this is the only one of these we do in 6 months, I can live with it. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Same thing with like a DQ finish. They've done one disqualification in AEW. Like keep that, to a minimum. Use it when you absolutely have to.
It's tricky because it seemed like they wanted to protect Nicole Savoy, which I think is a huge upside to Nicole Savoy for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I hope they've signed Nicole Savoy. I liked her dynamic with Big Swole. But honestly, would it have been the worst thing for Nicole Savoy to lose clean to Allie?
No, I don't think so at all. Especially,
and then you can just do the stuff
Allie's
after the
a vet.
match.
Right.
Yeah, give Allie like a little bit of a bump, so it matters,
right.
When the Nightmare Sisters split, because I feel like that's coming pretty soon.
Yeah, no, I think it has to. Although who knows at this point, because we thought the writing was on the wall for a Cody heel turn and for there to be some tension between him and the Nightmare family, and then suddenly, you look at last week, they're all together again, one big unit, and then what happens at the end of the show this week? Again, it seems like the Nightmare family are kind of once again like a cohesive thing. You know what I mean? Versus like what they were before, which is Cody isolated.
Yeah, I completely agree. Also, chat, I just wanted to check in. How are our audio levels? Can you hear Chuck okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Anything that we need to adjust on the fly? We're this is a new thing for us, so we want to make sure that everything sounded good. Sounds good in my monitors, but that doesn't necessarily mean it sounds good going out to the world.
That's true. I might sound like a squirrel again. Who knows?
Hey, Cirque says we sound good. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
We're doing it. Next match, next semifinal. Hey, Sachi, how's it going? Awesome. I'm glad. Hey, it's all working.
All right.
Anna Jay and Tay Conti
yes.
versus Diamante and Evilise. So, Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Tay Conti. Mm-hmm. Why do you think she changed her name? Is it because in WWE she was called Tainara Conti?
I mean that's probably the answer.
I dug in because
you've done some research. So this is a leading question.
It's a very leading question.
Okay.
Her actual name is Tainara Conti.
God damn it. Okay.
She just decided to shorten her name.
So does WWE own that though? Kind of like Cody doesn't own his name?
I don't think you can sell your actual name. Like Cody's name is like Cody Runnels. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Steve Austin changed his name to Steve Austin to get around that little loophole there.
Right. Same thing with Ultimate Warrior.
He changed his name to Warrior.
Warrior. That's how he signs his checks, brother.
Isn't Ryback called that? Like
I think he's also Ryback. Yeah. Can you like Madonna?
Yeah,
Ryback. Hey. Yeah. So can I make a note about Anna Jay here?
Yes.
And this is just me. Like I'm very impressed with her. She's only been wrestling for something like 2 years. She's incredibly young. Or less than a year, excuse me.
11 months.
Okay.
Crazy.
It's crazy to me that she can be so good at so much of what goes into being a pro wrestler. And yet I think she is one of the worst at running the ropes I've ever seen on national television. Or like on a national level.
She is very tentative about those ropes.
She like will run, stop, turn, bounce, and continue running as if they are 4 separate actions that she has yet to put together. And I mean, that'll come with time. And also, the ropes are built for, 6 foot plus men. That's like how the rings were originally designed. So now we've got women of smaller stature having to run these ropes. I'm not saying it's easy, but
also it's AEW's a steel cable ring.
So, yeah, there you go. So yeah, look, I'm picking nits, but like I only notice it because of how impressive she is already. So it's like that actually stands out to me, but I'm sure that'll come in time.
So I gotta adjust this green screen. There we go.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Man, see, I'm telling you, that's why I go blue every time. Blue screens.
He's a blue screen man.
Look behind me. It's perfect. It's crazy.
All right. So, things I liked in here. The behind-the-back ref work with Evilise and Diamante.
Good stuff.
Tay Conti showed a bunch of great attitude coming in.
She's a great hot tag, dude. Good fire.
Oh my god, yeah. That crazy knee and then the black hole slam. I was like, where did that come from? Also, I think the double team Shiranui is a really cool finish.
Yeah, it's like assisted sliced bread, basically, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in this match. Would you say this is the best match of the tournament?
Without question, this is the best match of the tournament. And you know, it's funny. I actually wish that they had just repeated this finish for the Dynamite finals match, because I thought that kind of ended like a wet fart a little bit. But
it really petered out because they were going great on
yeah.
Dynamite, and then but we'll talk about that.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So post-match interviews here. Allie and Brandy aren't unified.
Right.
Brandy is now the unreasonable one. Allie is no longer the unreasonable one.
For reasons.
Diamante and Evilise have a higher calling and are unified and even have a tag finish. They are the ones who should win. So they do.
Yeah.
But again,
and good promos from both women, sets of women. I love that Diamante and Evilise have made it about something bigger than themselves, right? They're wrestling for their people. It's a really cool story that has a good payoff, it turns out.
Weird. So again, we're gonna stay on this AEW Dark background for a little bit longer.
All right, let's do it.
Gonna quickly run through Dark.
Oh Lord. Okay.
11 matches. Let's go. Okay, Michael Nakazawa versus Superbad Kit Sabian. I think is not notable in any way other than Taz's quote, which is, "You should spit a toothpick in your wife's mouth, Tony."
Yeah, it's something. Taz is still trying to figure out how he feels about Michael Nakazawa. He's definitely not into the thong gimmick. Michael Nakazawa once again hoisted on his own thong and takes the W. Kip Sabian, sort of the ultimate kind of like gatekeeper character right now. I think they said his record prior to this match was 13-10. So now he's 14-10, close to 50-50, but he's wrestling a ton. And his job is basically, wrestle these enhancement guys, have solid matches, and then we put you against the established talent, make them look good, be a dickish heel, and lose. And honestly, he's doing his job well.
I think after they had Kip Sabian in those early pay-per-view spots, at the start of Dynamite, at the start of AEW period, I think they're just let's give him ring time.
Yeah,
because I've always noticed that Kip Sabian is the most giving of any wrestler this side of Sammy Guevara.
I was just gonna say it's either one or the other as the most giving. Yeah,
but they just need, Kip Sabian clearly just needs ring time. He needs more experience, and so he has these long matches on Dark where it's it's man, it took you 10 minutes to put away Michael Nakazawa. But hey, he needs the matches. So
and also the thing to keep in mind, and we don't know ultimately what the story would have been, but obviously they had plans for him in the tag team division, and we had to put a pin in that, probably indefinitely.
Oh no, Jimmy Havoc's being released.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, so that's kind of over. So he's, I think, in a holding pattern until they figure out what the move is with him.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some stable he could fit in. Honestly, wouldn't he if you have a 4 horsemen where it's 3 bona fide main eventers and Kip Sabian, is that terrible?
No, that's not the end of the world. I think that's ultimately Sean Spears' destiny myself, but
yeah, the super heater.
Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, that was a match. We watched it. Sean Dean, Frank Stone, Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela. They've tweaked the Kiss and Janela theme again, and it finally sounds like the type of theme that Joey Janela should have always had in AEW.
Absolutely, yeah. Ruckus never sleeps, man. Ruckus never sleeps. Mikey, crazy.
Oh my god! Some of the songs I thought were stock songs, apparently he made. So it's the Captain's theme song.
Yep.
Mikey Ruckus made that.
He's never stops, dude. It's impressive. What do you think of this Frank Stone guy? So you know me, Frank. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a well-known body guy. Everybody knows that. Frank Stone, very impressive physique. Kind of boring gear though. Looks like he's he's kind of young lion gear right now.
Yeah.
But I thought that he paired off well with Dean, the captain. I did like that commentary pushed the idea that Dean is sort of been going through multiple tag team partners and hasn't found one that sticks. They're kind of doing the similar story to Sean Spears, but they're calling less attention to it. But I do like that there's a memory here, right? That these guys don't exist in vacuums.
It's interesting that Sean Spears never found that tag team partner, but I think that was his pandemic.
100%. Yeah.
He has got pandemicked. But maybe he'll have one.
Who knows?
Soon.
Who knows? Got plenty of time.
Yeah.
All the time in the world.
Sonny's drops. Okay, so Sonny Kiss, again, going for most improved in AEW every week. That drop salt is super dope. Looks
very
great.
Cool.
the cravat split stunner was
Very
really
cool.
cool too.
Don't know if we need more guys doing stunners, but that's fine. That's okay.
The stunners and New Canadian Destroyer, Chuck.
Yeah, stunners and cutters. This place is lousy with them. It's crazy.
So that Samoan drop like neckbreaker deal where he goes from fall away slam
Yep.
into Samoan drop, and that giant elevation on like the neckbreaker part of it, like it's almost like a sideways blockbuster or something.
Yeah, very cool.
Really cool finish from these guys. I wonder if this one will stick for old Sean Dean.
I mean, it should. I mean, Sean Dean's impressive. Like,
well, like
he's
Dean's tagged with Will Hobbs before, right?
Yes, he has.
Frank Stone's
He's had
kinda-
about like 9 different partners.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Like Frank Stone is kind of like the other big man of Dark.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
You've got Hobbs and you've got Stone. But
Well, it's kind of
both
like
guys-
like when you're on a football team. You know, you bring in a couple practice squad guys who are all very similar to try to like motivate the other ones, and then it's kind of Thunderdome. Well, forgive the pun there, but like whichever one succeeds the most will be the one that gets chosen to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
I have a
Lee
question for
Johnson.
you.
Lee Johnson, like he has a big future, and I think Will Hobbs.
Yes.
I think those are the two chosen ones from the.
I think
the
Dean
Dark.
is. I think Dean's there as well because I mean he's been on like literally every episode
Oh,
of Dark. It seems.
So, by the way,
Mm.
You know how they essentially switched out this round of enhancement talent? Like they had like people. It seemed like.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. They probably had them there for 2-3 weeks in Florida to shoot like 6 to 8 episodes of stuff.
Right. Yep.
They've kind of switched them out. Do you notice Serpentico on the outside?
I did not. Okay.
So
So
he
he's there,
stayed.
but he's just a guy. So I mean, maybe that tag team with Luther's gonna stick. You know?
Yeah, he was standing right next to Luther during Dynamite this week.
Okay. Yeah, they're a
So-
spooky pervert tag team. I'm into
Yeah,
it.
points ahead.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Frank.
Yes.
So I was thinking about, Janela and Kiss, great team, like very interesting, obviously like super popular online, seem to be getting a good reaction, but like there's no crowd. I guess my question is, you've got these guys that like are working really hard, but they are ultimately a lower card tag team, at least right now. I think that's the biggest problem with this pandemic wrestling situation is like these guys have no way to improve their station in the company. Like, no matter how hard they work, there's no way that they can go backstage and say, oh, look we improved our crowd reaction again. And we did it. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to build on.
Yeah.
I feel bad for a lot of these guys that are sort of in the lower end of the card because unless, Tony Khan decides to push you, there's no way to organically get yourself over. It must be a really frustrating situation for a lot of the talent.
Yeah. Though at the same time, I feel like it's an opportunity for planning to just go forward.
Sure. Yeah.
With, and I think they're making pretty good choices all the time right now, but like Joey Janela, I think. Okay. Let's go put
Give
my
it to
thoughts
me.
together for a second.
Yeah.
I don't want Joey Janela to be a missed opportunity in AEW.
Right.
Because like Janela on like BTE never quite worked, and Janela, like his character on Dynamite, never quite worked. You could never kind of work out where he was coming from. His promos are kind of like uneven on AEW programming, but like like a GCW show or PWG show, it's like you get Joey Janela, you get him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like at All In, you got Joey Janela, you understood him, and he's kind of had an uneven presentation. It's been kind of struggling to find his footing, which is a real shame since he was coming from that like essentially like big run with like Moxley, and Kenny and stuff like that, and then just like slid all the way down to the bottom of the card.
Yeah.
And he's just being kind of lost. I just don't like. This feels like a holding pattern to me for when they're ready to like do something new with him, but I still don't think he's 100% worked it out. Like who he is, what the Joey Janela character wants. Like they don't have like a whole lot of guys on there. Like maybe he just doesn't want to play this like cliche character of like I like pain, I'm the pain man.
Right.
Like
Because it hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, get that over.
Yeah.
Like that's Darby.
But yeah, exactly. But there aren't a whole lot of people who are pushing in that direction. He could be the Foley.
Yeah, he absolutely could. But do you think some of the problem is that his gimmick worked so well when it was smaller promotions because there was more that one-to-one connection between the audience? He felt like their guy. And now that we're on this like big stage, it's really difficult to to be that person unless you're absolutely presented as like the top guy. You know what I mean?
Los makes a point. We've talked about how, you know, you in particular were thinking Luchasaurus. I was thinking kind of like Jungle Boy, where the guys who are, and of course Orange Cassidy, are the most who are hurt by a lack of crowd. I think Los in chat's right. Like, Janela needs the crowd. He needs it. But I would argue he's had trouble reacting to the crowd outside of his big gimmick like matches that he's had. I'm like, here's the, I'm a huge Joey Janela fan. I think he could be like one of the top guys in this promotion. I hope he gets there.
It's really going to take him figuring out, I think, something new, because again, so much of what got him over when he was like wrestling for like GCW and doing like his like spring break matches was his ability to, like, you know, some idiot in the crowd would yell something and he'd be able to directly address and dress down that person. And then suddenly everyone's on the side of Joey Janela because he's like told the idiot to shut up, or, you know, made the guy saying the asshole comments feel like an idiot. You know what I mean? And like, you just can't do that here.
Or he'll hit Great Sasuke with an inflatable alligator.
Sure, that'll also get you over. Absolutely.
Yeah, like that's like the thing. It's like we've seen like Janela have matches with guys like Shinsei Shinzaki, like, and we don't have that here. If they like let there be like a little quarter of the promotion that's like Joey Janela's like Hell World, kind of like how GCW is.
Sure,
I would.
You mean
love
like an AEW Underground? Something like that.
Don't break my heart.
You know, I don't know. I'm spitballing. You know what I mean? We're working things out. We're blue sky.
Do you think? So with WWE Thunderdome, do you think they'll like suspend Raw Underground from the ceiling?
That'd be amazing. Just like lowers and descends. Like
they're in like a cube.
I'd be into that. You know, why not? Get weird with it.
Yeah,
they can't get any. You know, like go for it. You know what I mean?
It can't get any weirder than it already is.
Yeah.
I hope the Sonny Kiss and Janela tag team goes somewhere.
Yep.
I just don't know where. It feels like a little bit of a dead end to me right now, which sucks because like I think the pairing's great. I just don't know story wise what they can do.
Honestly, they should. If I had my druthers, Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss would take the place of Private Party. Just like take their spot for now until Private Party gets a little more polished. But Private Party clearly is a project for AEW, so I understand why they're full steam ahead on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be a great spot for them. I hate to like put on like my creative writing 101, my screenwriting 101 hat.
Mm-hmm.
What do these guys want?
Right. Yeah.
Like that's, and WWE suffers from this problem.
Yes.
For the entire roster, other than like a Bray Wyatt, or like the Iconics, like the big characters. Mm-hmm. You can say what they want. No one else can articulate it in that promotion.
Right.
In AEW, you can.
Yes.
People want certain things, and they have different motivations, and they're going through character shifts and stuff and changes, and you know. But what does Sonny Kiss want out of wrestling? What does Joey Janela want out of wrestling?
Yeah, I could.
Be honest
White
about
Claw.
It.
I don't
like
know.
If Joey Janela's thing is he's just like, I want to do the craziest thing you've ever seen, and I want it like. Because he had this kind of larger than life like kind of character, like where he wanted to be this beloved guy. He was just kind of like Trailer Park Shawn Michaels, right? Where it's
that's a nice comp, yeah.
Where it's just like he's this guy who wanted to do the craziest thing and steal the show, and at the end of the day, he's gonna have like the money and the accolades for it. What does Sonny Kiss want out of wrestling? Like I want these questions answered. I want them to be talking, because when they did those like little vignettes of like Joey going for the walk and Sonny picking him up in the car, I was like, where is this going? And I'm still wondering where it's going.
Yeah.
Give me some more of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Rather than 11 matches.
Yeah, you know what match we probably didn't need? The one that's coming up next.
Here we go. Will Hobbs and Sean Spears. This one, right?
Yeah, this was fine.
It's juice in a record. That's all of it.
That's literally what this is. And then obviously continuing to try to get over the glove. I have one little note that I want to point out here. So Vita Scott, clearly she's been signed. She's going to be with AEW now. It seems like full time.
Yes.
And I don't know. And I think she's going to be doing dark for a while. And hopefully she also is brought out when we're having our high level women's matches on AEW as well, because she has a lot of insight there. But I think her greatest skill, and especially when she's on Dark with Taz and Tony, is that she basically forces them to focus on the match and stop dicking around as much, because she's not in their little club. So like while they're trying to make their inside jokes, she's like actually discussing like, oh, what's this glove really mean? What does it do for Shawn Spears? And like they have to then react to that. So it just
Honestly,
keeps everybody like focused.
Taz talking about the glove at the start of the match was really funny. Like,
oh, dude,
yeah,
it's Kevlar.
Yeah, Veda Scott is like being signed as an announcer. I don't think they've officially have they announced Veda Scott?
I thought so, but I could be wrong.
Is there a Veda Scott as All Elite? Like, is that up there? Chat? Do you know?
Yeah, let us know.
I'm doing some of my on the clock research.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But either way, I hope she becomes a long part of AEW Dark. After this match, though, we get a fire promo from Ricky Starks. Very good stuff. Not super long. Like I like these like 30-second promos they let guys do in between matches. Like this is how Ricky Starks is going to get himself over.
Yeah. Nothing. By the way, nothing confirmed regarding Veda Scott. Lois points out.
Cool.
Also,
Fair.
I checked. It seemed like Veda was like kind of just doing like a thank you for the opportunity kind of thing.
Okay.
But JR replied, which was like, you were great on commentary. So I was like,
oh, then that's we're
Yeah.
Well, especially because like, how long is JR really going to do this? You know what I mean? Like, eventually you're going to have to replace him with somebody. So
yeah, it's true. So Ricky Starks.
Good promo. Yeah, very, very good promo.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think it was as good as his Dynamite promo, but that's because that Dynamite promo was like top tier main event, like perfect promo material.
Just like hysterical, but also serious. Like he's one of those guys, like kind of like Brock, where he can. And I know that's like the obvious comparison people like to make, and it's not fair to him because how do you live up to those expectations? But really, he's one of those guys who has that rare ability to mix the serious and the comedy, and still get over his opponent and himself.
Mick Foley, The Rock, like
yes,
there are very few people who can walk that line, and he hasn't. But yeah, I thought this promo was very good. But okay. Pull back the curtain. I watched this after I watched Dynamite.
Okay.
And was just like, oh, it's not as good as his Dynamite promo.
Oh yeah, in the moment watching it on Tuesday, I was like, holy shit, what a great 30 seconds from him.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Do you, not to get ahead of ourselves, when we're building to All Out, are we building to a Darby Starks match or a Darby Brian Cage match?
Darby Starks, in my opinion.
It has to be, right? But eventually down the road, we've got to get a Cage Darby match, but the next pay-per-view isn't for months after All Out.
It might just be a big episode of
yeah.
Maybe they'll do a AEW Battle Brawl or something. Just like
sure. Why not?
Yeah. What's like no, they brought back the shark cage for NXT. What's some other gimmicks we can bring back?
Halloween Havoc. Fuck it.
Yeah, King of the Mountain. They should do a Halloween Havoc. They need to do a Halloween Havoc.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so on the next match, TH2 versus the Initiative.
Yeah.
This is the closest I think the Initiative have come to winning a competitive tag match against a real tag team.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
absolutely. This is a great match.
Yeah, Jack Evans was so giving.
Dude.
Like
that entire opening pin sequence with Brandon Cutler was incredible. A little static, not like the smoothest thing in the world, but it went on for so long. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like at the end of it, Cutler just like kicking Jack Evans in the face, like nonchalantly.
Yes. Yeah.
And Taz saying Lung Blower Jones. Dude. That's not what it's called. It's a lung blower.
Taz opened a fucking can live on the air during this match.
Really?
I lost my mind.
I missed it.
Oh my god. Dude, it was hilarious. Like Tony tried to call him out on it. He's like, I'm potched. Oh man. Los in chat, I gotta disagree, man. TH2 cannot lose here. The Initiative cannot win until there is a crowd to react. 100%. If there's anything that you wait on for a crowd, it's these two.
And we're gonna talk about some of the shifts. There's some shit going on. There's some shit going on behind the scenes with the Initiative, and we explore a little bit on BT. But I digress. Very good match.
Yeah,
I thought the finish was really good.
Also, that really weird like hanging submission Angelico did. Never seen that before. Really
oh,
cool.
dude, it's awesome. It's like if Angelico can get like his promos like right like a little bit,
we'll see. It's a long way to go there, Frank. It's a long way to go.
All right, Red Velvet versus Abaddon. Red Velvet has great character, interesting offense. I was looking like, and here like okay, Red Velvet's there as enhancement talent. As I pointed out in commentary, previous match like 15 seconds.
I love that that Vita brings that up though. Like, Red Velvet has a lot to prove here. She lost in 12 seconds to Shida. Like, how, she's got to be able to show that she's more than, cannon fodder.
Yeah, I need a Red Velvet I like who's going to be the person in the women's division who will give the Kip Sabian or Sammy Guevara dark match to people?
I think it's Penelope Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely
I want to see the Red Velvet showcase because like I saw some interesting character stuff, some interesting offense, but like this is going to be a problem they have moving forward because it was a problem for Nikki Cross in NXT. It was a problem for Rosemary in Impact.
Yeah.
The Abaddon character takes over matches.
Yep.
That's
what they become about nothing else.
Yeah. It's only about the Abaddon character, which is great when you have a character that strong. And I love that this is being kind of like a recurring theme, is that people are like, okay, I get this Abaddon person. I get this. Like, this like weird, they're not just like standing in the ring, like quivering. Like, oh no, the ghost is coming to the ring. They're just like, no, this is like a person in makeup and they're a weirdo and they're trying to get in my head. But by the end,
mind games.
Yeah, by the end of the match, Abaddon gets in their head and wins.
Yep.
Like for a second, they're just like, maybe this person is this fucked up. I'm a little scared of this person, and that's enough for Abaddon to get like a chain of like big offense together and put you away. Yeah. I love that.
But it does have to ultimately become about more than just the character. Like she's got to be able to back it up with in-ring work, and we've seen some hints at that. But I think like at least right now, it's entirely just like we're using this character to spook people and get wins.
Yeah, and it's really tricky because like legitimately the only person who is positioned to have a longer match with Abaddon is like Penelope Ford. Like, because we don't have like also it's like, do you want to do Nyla and Abaddon right now?
No.
Like it's really tricky. Like the just the lack of depth in the women's division because of like COVID and injury. Like the women's division AEW has been hit so hard by this.
Losing the Joshi pipeline has been a rough,
oh my god,
rough problem to overcome.
Like, think about like how many like people from like TJP and like Ice Ribbon and stuff have been featured like on like AEW. It's like, it's so rough. Like, and then to have Britt and Chris Stack go down to injury at the same time. Like, that was your women's main event.
Yeah.
You have
it's rough.
Rio, Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose, Chris Stack, and Britt Baker. That's your entire division. Well, they're all gone now. Like, Serge points out, like, feels like a bit like early Taker for Abaddon as well.
Right. But without being like an actual giant. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And if that's how they wanted to build her up. But again, like that's like, we've seen that it really is you have to really thread the needle with the booking there. Like look how they've booked like a Brody Lee and a Lance Archer, like, these two monsters. They can lose, but they've got to lose in very specific ways to be able to protect that monsterdom.
Lance Archer, they've just held off on him having like matches other than enhancement matches on like Dark.
Which is smart.
Yeah, they've just like let people kind of forget about the fact that he lost to Cody.
Yep.
Whereas in the case of like a Brody Lee, I mean, rapid rebuilding. Brian Cage, not as much yet, but let's give him a minute.
Right.
But I digress. I want to see some more from Red Velvet. I thought this was a good enhancement match for Abaddon, who's just going to rack up wins until she ends up.
Let's see like Red Velvet and Ty Conti. Let's see like Red Velvet and Ivelisse. You know what I mean? Like I think like opponents like that we'll actually be able to see like what she's got.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they've officially signed Tay Conti. They should.
Absolutely.
They should sign Tay Conti. It's clear that Ivelisse and Diamante are like in at this point. Or at the very
one
least,
could hope. One would imagine, because they've won their big tournament. So
So they're rebuilding the division. It's just gonna be a little tricky for a while.
Yep.
On the next one, the most indie tag team this side of a swap meet.
Goddamn.
D3, Horizon, and Fabu Andre against John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order with Colt Cabana, who's not officially part of the Dark Order. He just hangs out with them.
Yeah, he thinks they're cool guys, you know.
D3, Horizon, and Fabu Andre, Chuck.
So D3, Daniel Dentix Dacadia.
Cool Brandon Cutler robe.
Yeah, you know, he's got
It's kind of like a Tanahashi robe, right?
Yeah, and then so this Ryzen fella, I looked him up, and so apparently he is he's buddies with Matt Hardy. We actually see him on BTE. He made some appearances in the Broken Universe at Impact. He's a 17-year veteran in the ring, but he hasn't wrestled in a while. So I think this is either like a favor thing or like, you know, let's just get a payday for a good brother kind of a situation. You know what I mean?
Or maybe he has like another role to play. Maybe they need a new backstage guy or something.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, but like I thought these guys looked fine. This was a very, very brief match.
I thought they all sold Colt's elbow the best I've ever seen it sold.
Oh yeah,
all three of them. They look like $1 million.
Yeah. Uh-oh. There we go.
Chuck just disappeared. There he is.
I dropped my charger. See, I have an old laptop, and if my laptop is not plugged in, it will die within 10 minutes. So, got to keep that gimmick plugged in.
Sick. So here's a big story. Colt's torn over the approach to the match.
Yep.
And Alex Reynolds pinned somebody.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you know, I like that they had static, but also still work together as a 3-man unit, as a trios team. You know what I mean? Like Colt maybe again doesn't approve of their tactics, is a babyface. These two guys are heels, but
he also
he still wants to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a slightly more serious Colt Cabana.
Yep.
So
son of a bitch. Keep dropping it, Frank. God damn it. Ay. Gotta work out these kinks,
man.
Yeah. It's rough.
Okay. Ricky Starks versus Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I like that Starks did a mock coffin drop. Taz's biased commentary, your mileage may vary. I can see how people could find it annoying. I kind of enjoy it. It's good
I think
work.
he balances it very well. I think he's very, very mindful of the effect that this could have on people.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked that they, like, Lee... They're actually telling a story with Lee, at least in my opinion, and not just the stuff that happens after the match. Like, during the match, Lee actually appoints himself really well. He's building some momentum, and then he just takes a little bit too much time on the top rope and gets caught for the Dominator. And I think they're trying to do the whole, like, he's a young guy, he's got to get to veteran status before he can start racking up some wins. I think there's a plan for Lee Johnson.
Yeah, and also, like, seeing, like, now they're connecting in canon Lee Johnson in MJF's like little cabinet.
Yeah, which continues growing by the week. So
it's true. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Baron Black and Tony Donati versus Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah. Baron Black. This is a weird gimmick. It's like too many hats, like a hat on a hat on a hat. So he's Baron Black. But he's on his tights. It says he's the Emperor. But then he wears a king's crown. Very confusing. You know, what is your title, sir?
There's a lot going on with young Baron Black. I thought this was fine. I haven't dug Santana and Ortiz's enhancement matches.
Yeah, it's tough when your whole bit is being like kind of like dastardly heels. With these enhancement guys, because then you're just like you're cheating for no reason when you should be like actually like showing off what you can do offensively, and they seem to be more interested in just like sticking to the formula, even though it's a squash. Very strange.
It's crazy that Santana and Ortiz are in the inner circle, and they've been just like gone lately.
Yeah, it's just it's such a crowded division. There's no room for them right now.
It's a worry. I hope they don't do those trios titles. I really hope they don't.
Yeah, again, there's no time for it. Like unless they add like a Saturday night hour show every week, which I suggest they should do.
That's just tag teams.
Why not? You know what I mean? Like 6:05 TNT Saturday. Make it permanent. 1 hour.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that like third hour, because it's not gonna be a third hour of Dynamite. It's a different show.
Right.
I just don't know what they're gonna do with it. But I look forward to it regardless.
Totally. Yeah.
Jesse Sorensen, what the fuck? And John Cruz versus Lance Archer. This is gonna go great for them.
Oh yeah, no, nothing could possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
The choke overhead suplex that Lance Archer does in this match is ridiculous.
Yep.
I've never seen that before. Like, absolutely terrifying.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, I don't know if there's been an official announcement for the second show, like being like a concrete announcement. It's just they've been talking about it around the edges.
I think in their like when TNT re-upped them, they said they were going to have additional content.
Yeah, here we go. I just Forbes.com. AEW announces plans on launching second weekly show as part of the extended deal with TNT and Warner Media. So we'll get it eventually.
Yeah,
we shall
happen. All right. So this is an enhancement match. Archer beat 2 guys. Does that mean he gets 2 wins?
That would be an interesting way to rack up some W's. I mean, I'm not so sure. Like this
I don't think so. I think it's
fine. I couldn't not look at Jake the Snake's shirt, which is like a snakeskin bowling shirt. Fascinating.
Hey, he's working it out. We didn't see the. It seemed like Jake had a pretty good handle on Archer this week, though.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll see how that angle progresses with what we think is happening, which is we talked about.
And in chat, Cyrex, you're probably right that COVID definitely slowed down second show plans. It did ruin everything.
It ruined everything.
Yeah.
It continues to ruin everything.
Yeah, it's just a big old ruiner, you know.
Billy Gunn beats Alan Angels.
Frank, why?
Why? What are we doing?
Why? Not even does Billy win like, he has a competitive match with Alan Angels. Like
he kicks his ass forever.
And it makes him look like an idiot. And I get that he's really big. This is my problem with Billy. Billy cannot be put on Dynamite. He's too big. It makes everybody else look stupid. And it just like keep him on Dark, that's fine, but like I don't know what we're doing here. Why is the Gun Club winning matches, Frank? Why are we doing this?
I feel like as a tag team, you can have the Gun Club get enough wins and enough face time that when you put them in front of a crowd again, people know what the deal is. So maybe a win over them means a little something.
Yeah.
But
what does chat think about all this Gun Club nonsense? I'd love to know. Are people into Billy and Austin Gunn? I mean,
well, Billy had that amazing match with Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Oh, it's unforgettable.
Remember when we watched that?
I do. I remember that. Never thought I'd see that match.
Never thought I would see the worst Tanahashi match of the past, I don't know,
that's just
7-8 years.
That's just New Japan being weird and thinking that Americans don't want to watch Japanese wrestling from a Japanese wrestling company.
I mean, that's been a theme of Japanese wrestling forever. I always think about that thing where Kobashi was having that match with Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And he thought he had to act like Mr. Fuji.
Dude,
he was talking to Joe backstage. He's just he thought he had to be like Muda, he's gonna be a nefarious Japanese heel. And
they don't think much of us.
Joe was like,
they do not.
No. Big baby face.
Yeah.
Big
baby face.
And Kabashi's and you can totally see it when he walks through the curtain in that ROH match. By the way, chat, if you haven't seen it, just go watch that now.
Yeah. And we cover it on This Is Awesome, our other show. Yeah. I think it's season 1, episode 2.
Yeah. Just walking through looking around confused and raising his arms triumphantly. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Billy Gunn, whatever.
Then the Dark Order jumped Billy Gunn because we've got Dark Order not only has a million things going on, on Dynamite, they're also having like dark specific feuds. I think we're setting up a Gun Club versus Silver and Reynolds match, which hopefully Silver and Reynolds win.
They really should, but they actually picked up a win this week.
That's true.
Alex Reynolds making a pin was crazy.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Well, dude, BTE, they're getting over like gangbusters. It's
awesome. So good. So good.
Yeah.
All right. Main event time. Holy shit, we've been talking about Dark for like an hour.
Whoops. Okay.
All right.
It's so long, Frank.
Pentagon, Phoenix, Butcher, and the Blade versus Private Party, SCU.
Yep.
Whew. Okay, thankfully, we've got people like SCU and Butcher and the Blade to keep this thing on the rails.
Yeah. This was
how'd you feel about this?
So this was kind of underwhelming. Didn't like this one as much as I thought I would. Lucha Bros definitely are aware that they're on Dark and are working accordingly. Yes. I like it. There's a good story here. The heels win by isolating Christopher Daniels. Like, we see some fun stuff from Private Party. Like, Quinn does a slice spread number 2 into a DDT. He like floated over. Awesome stuff.
Really cool.
But I mean, this match specifically is only here to set up what happens on Dynamite with the tension between the Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade. That's it.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, it is what it is. It's a means to an end. I'm glad that it wasn't.
The only thing that
long.
I'm legit curious about here is, what does everything mean for Frankie Kazarian now, who was just in the crowd like scouting a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, is he it's really strange, like, and maybe we're paying too much attention to that one bit. Maybe he was just actually sitting in the crowd. And they cut to him.
Maybe they were just meant to put it over as like Frankie Kazarian scouting future opponents for SCU.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. They're very.
But instead they were just like
SCU
Frankie
being
Kazarian's wearing
now.
a T-shirt.
Right.
That's how JR explained it.
Yeah, well, he's a Killer Kowalski guy. Great
Yeah.
T-shirt. Want that T-shirt.
But
yeah, I don't know. This is fine. Fine.
This show was too long.
Yes.
Stop it.
It was 90 minutes plus. Hour 40, actually, I think.
5 to 7 matches with a few more promos, please.
Agreed. And now, granted, we're complaining. Like, I'm sure the people who watch the show don't watch every match. Like, I watch every match because I want to be prepared to do this show with you. I feel like if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be skipping some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I do anyway. Shh. Wow, cool skeleton.
Keep your secret.
Pentagon. Oh, Pentagon.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for joining us today. Always good seeing new names in the chat.
We like new friends.
So yeah, let's oh my god, I get to change to the next slide finally. Whew,
that's the longest we've ever sat on that. Yeah.
BTE. All right, big segments. Let's blow through this. Chuck.
Yes,
Trent,
sir.
Want to kill Brandon still?
Yeah, you do. There's too many people around, Frank. It's too crowded. Can't kill Brandon.
I like that Chuck was gonna get him with like a little broom.
Yeah. This is fun. I don't know where it's going, but you know, what the hell?
I think this is an example of BTE having found. Chuck and Trent having found their way on BTE rather.
Yeah.
Like, because for a while I didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Well, the joke was they didn't have a bit. That was the whole joke, right? It was like,
but
they
before
don't know
that
what they're
and
doing.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Like they had all sorts of stuff they were doing, and none of it quite made sense. But now we're finally getting a showcase of just how weird Chuck Taylor is.
Yep.
And that makes me very happy. He's no longer just being overshadowed by Orange Cassidy.
Right.
Yeah. So, also Brandon Cutler, MVP of everything forever now.
Of course, he's like the glue now on BTE. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I just want to talk about Christopher Daniels selling poison mortgages, please.
We gotta wait. We got other segments.
All right.
Okay. Nick and Matt think Kenny killed Colt, and there are aviators in Kenny's bag. This is the biggest movement. I hope that was just like Orange Cassidy's bag, though.
That would make sense. Yeah. This is so strange, though. Is this leading to a Kenny Colt match, or is this going to be like a blow-off part of?
Remember
BTE?
when they were just doing matches on BTE, like that
great.
insane Matt versus Nick match?
Yeah, I loved it. That was BTE 200, man.
Yeah, I wonder if there might be some matches in BTE future now.
Why not?
Yeah, they got the time. But now Chris Daniels bit.
Yeah.
The eyebrows and the mustache, amazing.
Very, very, very funny. Very silly. Did you call the number? 1877 Poison M?
I did. It's
And?
just I thought it was just another scam number, like an actual scam number.
Oh, they actually like put up an actual scam number? Whoops. Okay.
Yeah, like it sounded like an actual like.
Well, the number, when you actually type it out, by the way, the number becomes 1877 764 7666.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yeah, I called it, and it sounded like it was just going to an actual financial scam.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they actually like checked the number this time.
Did anybody in chat call the Poison Mortgage hotline?
Maybe I put the number in wrong. Who knows?
I don't know. But very funny seeing him realize that the idea of the reverse mortgage is a scam is great.
Yeah,
Love
Conrad is going to be real mad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It felt like an attack.
He's breaking finance kayfabe. Yeah.
Is that a
you
shoot
pay off
mortgage
your
brother?
mortgage? You pay off your mortgage with the reverse mortgage? This was amazing. Chris Daniels is a gem.
Amazing.
Matt Hardy apologizes to the referee and then kills Ryzen.
And he's screaming, "I see red! I see red!" So
Yeah.
Matt Hardy's legitimately going insane. He's losing his mind.
But no, he's just gonna be regular Matt Hardy. Regular
Matthew
Matt
Hardy, rather.
Matthew Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 50 plus segment made me feel like I'm being personally attacked.
Okay.
Because I love building PCs.
Is this a joke about old people building PCs, aka performance centers?
No.
Like,
I
am I reading too much into that?
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Do old people build computers? Question mark.
I feel like it is something that people in their 30s do. Like,
Yeah. Right.
And maybe they're just healing on us for being old now, Chuck.
Oh no. I feel attacked too, Frank. I don't even build computers.
Yeah.
I pay too much for Apple computers is what I do. Like a dummy.
We'll work on something. I'm working on a Jeffrey, Must Temple alumni Jeffrey, who's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jeffrey.
Hey.
But I'm working on a PC for him right now. As a little
Very
hobby.
cool. Good brother.
Yeah, so I feel genuinely attacked. He's like, okay, this is gonna be going like deep into PC bullshit.
Uh-oh.
They got the little fans on the motherboard now for like the M2 drives. Come on, it's ridiculous. You shouldn't need that. Hard drive.
You're against little fans?
Like fixed to the fixed to the motherboard because like SSDs are getting too hot. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Are you using that liquid cooling system, Frank? You got water in your computer?
I got an all-in-one.
Okay.
Yeah, I got an all-in-one for the processor. I'm
Can I make a computer that's also like a fish tank? You know?
The fish will die.
Oh, it's a shame. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay.
Even tropical fish.
Shame.
So other segments. Silver Reynolds won the Weasel
This was
for
so stupid.
Dark Order. Librarians coming out for Under the Table was amazing.
Yep.
Now this is silly, but there's something going on here.
Yes.
So Peter tries to join the Dark Order. They don't want him. Brandon's the one who's got the camera. So, remember that random Dark Order guy on Dynamite? It's a number we haven't seen before. I forget what number he is. Los, do you remember?
I think he was 9, right?
Yeah. And we're like, oh, he's just there to take the pin, and he wasn't.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9 we haven't seen since that match.
People think that 9 was Brandon Cutler. And maybe that was just for the week, but AEW doesn't work like that.
Right.
And it might have been a bait and switch, like when they had like Raven and shit, just like Raven just in the crowd.
Yeah.
That one time, and they didn't mention like shit like that, like that real attention to detail. I appreciate.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. Could be something.
We have the Dark Order office segment. Mr. Brody. He's trying to teach Uno how to use the papers, and he hits Shivani.
I mean, this papers thing is hysterical.
These guys are great. Who knew that after those like really weird Vince McMahon segments that Mr. Brody did, that he would be like the glue for all of the Dark Order backstage stuff? Who knew?
Right. Well, who knew he had this kind of comedic timing? You know what I mean? Like, just the way that he reacts to everything is incredible.
Also, it's like, I knew Uno was a great promo. I didn't know he was this funny. I knew he could be funny in ring as player Uno.
Right.
He was a face. But
Yep.
I didn't know he could be this funny.
Yeah.
I don't think John Silver and Alex Reynolds knew how funny they could be as well.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
But I want to say, so Wild Cool Skellington said it wasn't 10 build for that match. Maybe he wasn't ready. Yeah, I mean, that could be they say the simplest explanation is often the correct one. It could just be Preston Vance wasn't healthy, even though they announced that he was going to be in the match. So at the last minute, they're like, oh, put Cutler under a hood and send him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that could just be it. They didn't have enough bodies. Who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, overall, pretty good episode of BTE.
Oh, yeah. Also, Colt Cabana's turned gold.
Yeah, that was weird. And they say his actual name as the joke, right?
Well, Scotty Goldman.
Scotty Goldman. We'll see where this goes.
We'll see where it goes. This was some very old school BTE bullshit for that last segment.
Which I don't mind. Like, it's a little weird because they're like...
Hey, we were fans of the show before,
Well, the thing is, like,
there was an AEW, so...
It's interesting when they're doing stuff like this that's very old school BTE, because now more than ever, BTE is plugged into the main continuity of AEW. Like, they mention it on Dynamite. There are things that happen, like, especially with Kenny and the Elite, that, like, seem to connect to Dynamite in more
funny
concrete
because
ways.
It lives in this, like, kind of, like, in-between world where it's, like, a comedy show, but there's actual little bits of plot development and teases of what will happen later in it.
Yeah. I wonder if that's alienating for a non-nerd fan like us. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a person who's enjoying Dynamite and you're like, I'm going to check out this BTE, and you watch it, like, would you even be able to access it?
To mention Jeffrey again, we're actually chatting about this over text message. So he
great.
loves Dynamite. Dynamite's favorite wrestling show to watch. Because it has all the sports entertainment stuff that he missed from back in the day, but also has all the indie stuff that he loves now. It's a great combo for, like people who were fans of wrestling, in like the late 90s, early 2000s, but kind of updated.
Yeah.
However, he's like, I like BTE. It's a sketch comedy show where guys hang out with their friends, but I don't understand about half of it.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt your enjoyment of it. It's just like a little weird.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that even happens to us. Like, we've talked about this. Like, the talking Spanglish is not for us.
No.
I don't get it. I don't find it terribly funny. It's for someone, and I keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
as long as people are digging it, keep on doing it.
Exactly.
Not everything has to be for us.
Right.
But okay.
It's time.
Let's go ignite.
Light the fuse, Frank.
Feel the
Light
boom.
that fuse.
Dynamite. Yeah. Whew. We did it. Oh my god. So much content.
Let's go.
I actually feel pretty good for us. Because that was like a half hour BT. It's a half hour Dynamite does it, and then an hour and a half of Dynamite. Not Dynamite, Dark. So 2.5 hours of content.
Yeah.
We crammed it down to like about an hour. I think we're pretty good.
Pat ourselves on the back,
All right. So we started. What the fuck? Why does it have old screenshots from last week?
Oh, dear.
Hikaru Shida.
Shida wasn't on this show. Don't lie to me.
What the hell? What the hell?
By God.
What happened?
That's
the shit I deal with making this show.
Unbelievable.
Let me fix this bullshit.
We got this. We got this. But yeah, so this obviously aired on Saturday. Special presentation around 6:30 Eastern time. It aired following an NBA game. Pushed off of Wednesday because of the NBA. I don't mind this stuff happening. Like again, next week it's going to be on a Thursday. Like, it's going to be interesting. I actually think as an experiment to see how much of the audience follows. You know what I mean? Like, how much of people watching on Wednesday are they watching because they would have otherwise been watching NXT and then they've discovered being Dynamite, or is it a new audience who is loyal enough to follow the show to a new time slot, or are they going to significantly lose viewers? You know what I mean? It's an interesting experiment. It's not ideal, like especially coming off of one of their biggest, COVID ratings ever last week. It's
the overrun was 1 million viewers, right?
Yeah, the Jericho Orange Cassidy main event hit over 1 million. So I don't know if we don't have that yet because it's the next day, but very curious to see how much of the audience was loyal and followed them to Saturday.
Always be clothing. I got the wrong site, so I don't get any no chilies.
Oh no!
No chilies for Frank.
Oh my gosh. What will you do?
Yeah. All right. I think I got him now, even though there's a Fight TV full screen thing at the top there. Look, we can't win them all. So FTR, Private Party, no entrances. Let's go.
This show was chock-a-block. Like,
breathless.
Just show everywhere. Yeah.
So I like the picture of last week. Out of nowhere, Tully's just out there managing FTR. I thought that was going to be maybe like a bigger moment.
Nah, man. With that sexy bomber jacket. Hello.
Hello. That's going to be on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Has to. Yeah. Can I get like a custom, like my name on the jacket, you think? Instead of Tully, it says Chuck.
I like that we got like a last week on Buffy type insert too.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Although again, I wonder when you've got like new fans, say you've captured some of that audience from the NBA, you drop them into this, no entrances, you try to quickly say who the guys are, and then as it starts, you then do an inset showing the previously on. It is a lot to process. Is all I'm saying.
But they're just like, let's just get to a cool match quick.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Would it be maybe better if you just put like Jon Moxley out there right at the top?
Perhaps, but you get right to the action. Like, this is a company that believes that the thing that people come to this wrestling show for is wrestling.
And stories and characters.
Right.
I like that they have a disciplined approach regarding that.
Yeah.
Like, the WWE approach would just be throwing some guy off a ladder the second you cut from the NBA to this.
Right. Yeah. Or setting up a match, doing it for a minute, and then going to commercial.
Yes. So I thought Private Party looked great in here with FTR.
Yep.
I like that they're just working straight heel now. They try and babyface Hangman later in the show. Yep. But like, they're just heels. They're just like working heel tag team stuff. Like, and I thought Private Party looked good.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably the best Private Party's looked since their match against the Young Bucks.
This is that like FTR classic NXT thing where they just have a great match with anybody.
Right. I mean, these guys, there's a reason that they're about to become the AEW Tag Team Champions 5th of September. It's because they are one of the best. Man. They're one of the best tag teams on the planet, and they're able to have a good to great match with literally anyone. You know what I mean?
And now the rust is off. They even talked about this a little bit in an interview I saw from them recently, where they're just like, "Hey, we actually felt a little rusty the first couple of weeks."
Right. And I've almost figured out their names: Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. They're stupid names, but I'm getting there.
Which one's Dax? Which one's Wheeler? Like the old chat, remember that?
I'm close. I'm close to figuring it out.
We're getting there. Yeah. Anything else to add about the match, Chuck? Or we can...
I think we can move on. Again, you're absolutely right. This was less about like furthering any kind of story stuff. Like the big story beat is just, oh look, it's Tully. But really, Wildco Skeleton, that Spinebuster was incredible. A really good Shatter Machine. Or what is it? The something Express?
The Good Night Express.
Midnight Express, yeah.
Good Night Express.
Good Night Express. So yeah, good match. It was there to be a good match, and that's what it was. So it's a success, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think we got to see some cool stuff from Private Party as well.
Yeah.
They weren't just having fun out there tonight.
Right, which is good. It's good for them. Yeah, they're getting away from some of the sillier. Like they didn't the silly string didn't feel forced in here. Quinn's gotten rid of the tails. We've lost a lot of the squealing. Like they're a more serious tag team now.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Moxley promo, just
fire.
Him talking about MJF's amusing campaign thing.
Yep.
Is exactly how we see it, and it's nice to see like, oh yeah, we're not just like weirdos, or we're just like we don't gotta get this.
Right.
Like. It's just some weird thing he's doing. Try and get himself over, and Mox recognizes it.
Here's a question.
Promo. Yeah.
Is this going to be the first time? So typically the way this goes is that Mox cuts a promo. He tells us what he's going to do, and then he does it during the matches and wins. Yeah. Is this going to be the first time coming on September 5th where he's telling us he's going to drop MJF on his head and win? Is that what's going to happen? You know? Is there a world where this is the end of a Moxley title reign?
I think that would be a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what you do with MJF on top.
Right. Like, he's very impressive. I don't think he's quite ready for that yet.
Yeah. So, did you listen to the Moxley interview on Observer?
I read the Cliff Notes version that someone graciously put up on Reddit, but I have not had a chance to listen to the entire interview.
It's good. Listen to it on the elliptical, because I can do that again now. I got elliptical in my house.
Nice. Very nice.
I can watch wrestling and listen to podcasts again. It's good. So he talked about how essentially, like, in the COVID era, all his opponents have been thrown together.
Yep.
Where it's just like the parade of monsters that he's been fighting.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't the plan. But,
right.
you know,
it's stopgap after stopgap after stopgap.
And they've done a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Like, of keeping that going. I'm sure he would love to be weaved into a more intricate story as a champ. It's almost like, it's kind of funny, like, the big stories seem to be, like, after he took the belt from Jericho, that is, are not around the championship.
Right, which is odd, because that was, like, the big criticism against his WWE run as champion was also that he was the champion and never the focus of the show. And we're kind of getting the same vibes here. He'll
cut a promo each week, and maybe he'll wrestle.
Right.
But
it is odd. It is odd.
Yeah. And honestly, like, they're giving MJF more time than him right now.
Yeah.
And you know, here's the thing: like, the way he works, better in small doses. Did they send Steve Austin out there for 15 minutes at the top of Raw every week when he was, like, on top? No. They sent The Rock out to go do his thing, and then Stone Cold will come out and give him a stunner, and they leave. Like,
well, okay. Here's a question. So, say he defeats MJF. Like, MJF manages to get the double arm DDT banned. Moxley wins regardless. Who's the next opponent? Because I feel like that's actually, like, kind of unclear for the first time in a while. Like, the next major opponent. You know what I mean? Is it a Kenny Omega? Is it Adam Page? You know?
I feel
is it a returning Pac?
Okay. Returning Pac, I'm here for.
Yeah.
I think that totally works. I think Hangman and Kenny, if they are in a position to challenge for the singles championship of the company, they have to get through each other first, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't have time, like, to get to one of them facing Mox at the next show. Also, I feel like it's too late to go back to Kenny and Mox. I mean, too early, rather.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Hangman and Mox, I think, is a money match, and it will be... I feel like that's the main event of Double or Nothing.
Okay.
Which, you know, hopefully we'll be at.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. I like to know what chat thinks. You know, not to look past the MJF Moxley match, but I will say this is, like, kind of the, like, even more so than his matches that felt a little more thrown together against, you know, like the Lance Archers or the Mr. Brody Lees of the world, the Jake Hager. I actually, for me, this is the match I'm kind of, like, least interested in. Like, conceptually, it's really cool, but I think the match itself, I'm like, that could be okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, after MJF had that banger of a match with Jungle Boy, I'm just like, okay, let's see what he can do.
Totally.
But yeah, interesting.
But yeah, chat. Let us know who you think could be the next big challenger here coming down the road. I'm curious to see what people think.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, the MJF promo, who is Mark Sterling?
I know. Okay, so I know who this is. So this is how sad my life is. So I listen I listen occasionally to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, which is the Zack Ryder, now Matt Cardona, and
where the fuck's that guy?
Kurt Hawkins.
Like, Matt Cardona hasn't been on TV for, like 3 weeks?
Right. So my understanding is that Matt Cardona signed a 5-show deal, so they're not burning through all of his dates yet, is my understanding. He's not, like, a full-time guy, I don't think. At least not yet. But so this guy, and chat, let me know if I'm wrong, if I miss. But so this is actually, so he is the producer and third man in the booth for the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. It's Mark Sterling.
He's great.
He is. So he's very funny on the show. Like, he originally was just the producer. He's an independent wrestler who never kind of quite made it, but he's good friends with Cardona and Kurt Hawkins. And so,
dude, he's fantastic. It's like, he's like the, I miss the other Dark Order guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, the old, like, the political guy, the face of the videos. Yeah.
I miss him too. Because, like, both of those guys are great. Like, that's what Mark Sterling kind of feels like he's in that category for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was very, very good. Like, I didn't know he had this. He was like, actually, like, kind of, like, not overshadowing MJF, but, like, hanging with MJF.
He was. You know, he was completely hanging there. Like, I love how this whole thing was, like, shot. I love Sad Lee Johnson and Smiling Lady.
Yeah.
And and stoic Wardlow. I'm glad that they've backed off of that Wardlow,
Yep.
like MJF dissension for a while.
Let it simmer. Let it simmer.
Man, what do you do? What, like, if MJF wins, like,
Oh.
what do you
He
do?
can't.
He can't.
He can't. Like, I don't know. I think it's way too soon.
Yeah.
Way too soon.
Yeah.
But it also does feel weird to give his first loss to Moxley, because like you could actually use that first loss to put someone over, like a Jungle Boy down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see MJF going over. But yeah, and apologies, I was calling him Kurt Hawkins.
Brian Myers.
Not Brian Myers now. Yes, I got to be respectful. You know.
Yeah, Cyrix has no idea who Moxley face next. Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like he's kind of he's like running through everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I still maintain like pushing like a Pentagon out there is like a good idea.
I mean, he'd need a little bit of rehabbing, but absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
but
like,
has
that's the
Moxley
thing.
even lost yet? Once? I believe he's
What's his
undefeated,
record?
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What's the AEW records? Let's take a look.
fairly certain he's undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's tricky. But yeah, overall, love this promo, love this bit. I'm fairly certain that MJF will succeed in getting a double
16
WT
matches,
ban.
16 wins.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
it's so funny, like he's had as many matches in AEW as Sonny Kiss.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, it's quality over quantity.
That's true.
I'm super glad that this is not another political promo. Like we said it last week, get away from that shit, please. This is the tone you want to strike. MJF has hired a shitty lawyer, a really good, not a shitty lawyer as in like a bad lawyer, a really good lawyer
shitty
who's
human
shitty.
being.
Yeah, a shitty human being who's gonna try to sue Moxley into the ground. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Love this. Like this is very like Ric Flair in the 80s, you know, very despicable kind of heel shit. I'm here for.
Yeah, it's very good. Also, it was actually funny. This was actually a funny promo.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna skip most of like the 8-man clusterfuck here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the match itself isn't even important. Other than to say, I'm through with the QT Marshall experience. I'm good.
So
I've had enough.
I know what
Thank
I know what you're talking about. Which is when QT's on the outside on the rail, and he's getting chopped, and it looks awful, and he barely sells.
Yeah.
However, then after that, he like made up for it by selling the sling blade from Penta, like he got murdered.
He has his moments. I just like
Why is he taking up time on the show?
There's other people. Like why? Like there's like put literally anyone else with Dustin Rhodes and get him over, because they like.
Also, it's like
guess what? Guess
why
what?
are the
QT's
natural
not going to
nightmares-
be. QT's not going to be a champion. He's not like going to sell tickets.
Yeah.
I
like
don't know.
him in like a more Michael Nakazawa-esque role.
Yes, that's I think was like shame on us for giving him that huge pop at Double or Nothing. I feel like this is our fault.
Yeah, he did awesome. That's the thing.
He did.
It's
No,
just
he
like,
did. He did.
Like, but yeah, there's too much QT Marshall here. It's like, why isn't Joey Janela and like Sonny Kiss teaming with Jurassic Express here? Why?
That's a good question, Frank. I'd love to know the answer.
Why?
There has to be a spectacular payoff with the Nightmare Family, with
and the Natural
Allie,
Nightmares. Oh my god.
the natural, all of it. This
All
has
of
to be
it.
going somewhere. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like, what are we?
Yeah.
So.
Cyrix is wondering if like MJF like finds a way to win.
Yeah, I mean,
But, like,
look,
but
it'd
he
be
can't
really
lose the belt.
bold.
He can't lose the belt yet.
It would be very bold move, but again, you know, maybe
AEW season 2 is starting, like, it's kind of funny. I thought they were going to do all this stuff at once, but it seems like they're kind of like dripping it out over like a few weeks.
right.
The big changes before everything
Yeah.
explodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciate what they did here, where it's just like, oh, all the heels are arguing, and then Eddie Kingston just rolls out there.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. What a
Yeah.
promo.
And when this match finished, I was just like, oh, some stupid miscommunication finish. I should have just done it clean. But you know what? I want to see a match between these guys. And then, boom, Kingston. That wink at the camera at the end. Just,
So
mwah.
we seem to have a new stable, and it's odd that it's a stable of 2 tag teams. I wonder how long that lasts. I could imagine Eddie Kingston, you know, siding with like the Lucha Bros and turning on Butcher and Blade. and him become part of like maybe like the
a face turn for Butcher and Blade might be overdue.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
I don't know where Ali factors into that.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to say, I could be reading into this way too much.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston turning, looking at the camera and winking. I'm getting massive vibes from when Ali first started messing with QT Marshall and she kind of looked to the camera and smirk and smile.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to try to connect these two things at some point. Again, I could be reading too much into this, but I'm going to say it anyway on the off chance that I'm right, because then I can point back and say how smart I am.
Yes.
So,
I appreciate that. It's all about being right.
There you go. Absolutely. It's my whole life.
But yeah, the wink of the camera was great because you don't know which way to read it, right?
Yep.
Is he fucking with them? Is he fucking with us? Is he just being like, look how good I am at this shit?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very interested.
He's chaotic neutral, Frank. You know?
Yeah. And what's Pac think of this?
It's a good question. I can't wait for him to come back.
Do we randomly get just like Pac Eddie Kingston? Also, has anyone in AEW had more of a cursed run than Pac?
No. Anyone who comes in his orbit and himself, like,
just
terrible luck
cursed,
befouls them. Yeah.
Getting hurt.
Yep.
Just like, what was the other one? There was like some weird thing where
not being able to drop his title because of Dragon Gate.
Yeah. Like, just so cursed of a run. But yeah. Britt Baker segment with Reba.
Yep.
It's great. Volunteering.
We're gonna get another handicap match, which I don't love handicap matches. I think they're inherently silly.
Yes.
But there's a storyline reason for this.
Yeah, which is Big Swole's like, I want a match. And Britt's like, you got it, but I decide what it is.
Yep.
Britt's not good to go yet, clearly. So her role
she's just gonna stand there.
If she can stand there at all.
Right. She'll get the pin probably, is my guess.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. But
yeah, it does suck the Pac
overall
around Wild Cool Skeleton. It bums me out too.
Yeah.
Because he was close to being the guy.
Absolutely, yeah. Number 2 heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this segment was really funny. Yeah, this was good character stuff. It reminded me of old NXT.
Agreed. Agreed. And Reba is so fun.
Oh, Reba's amazing.
So much fun.
The side characters in AEW are so entertaining.
Yeah. Well, again, because they're allowed to live those characters and they don't have to just like vanish into thin air when they're no longer storyline relevant. You know what I mean?
There's around.
Yep.
They inhabit a universe.
Exactly.
So I just took this screenshot because I didn't need anything else from this segment.
Right.
So Taz saying Orange Cassidy only speaks in debates is hilarious.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
Like Jericho working Orange Cassidy and no one's buying it.
Yeah.
Like Chuck and Trader just at the ready, like waiting to fight the entire time. But
the video package, Frank. The video package.
Amazing. Like the wave of Mimosa at the end of like the graphic.
Yes.
Just so the Mimosa Mayhem match. Money in the Bank it ain't.
I think that's the gag, right? Is that he's like, oh,
Jericho
I'm this genius who invents great matches, and this is like,
and this is one of
nothing.
them.
Yeah, like what are we even doing?
Pinfall, submission, or take a dip in the Mimosa vat.
Yep. By the way, here's a little tip for everybody.
To lose again? I hope so.
I think he has to. It would be very silly for Orange to lose. I just want to let everybody know, as someone who bought a couple bottles of a little bit of the bubbly, and I've drank one of them
in my office here.
Yeah, Frank, you've gotten to taste some of it as well. A little too sweet to go into mimosa, in my opinion. It's almost prosecco.
Yeah, you need something a little dry for that.
Yeah, I just let everybody know I would not recommend making mimosas with.
I agree. So yeah,
I will say the ending of this segment was kind of a wet fart.
There's like the beat down.
Yeah, like I was actually tag team partner was expecting champagne to fall from the ceiling. So little disappointed when that didn't happen.
Hey, we got a week or so.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, Chris Jericho can fall into a vat of mimosas. He cannot be pinned by Orange Cassidy.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yes, you would be very sticky, Cyrix. It is very gross.
I hope they show everyone pouring the 500 bottles in there.
It'd be great. Yeah,
Like,
somewhere there's a prop master and a food artist who are desperately trying to figure out how to make a giant tub of fake mimosa look real. Fingers crossed they succeed.
I think they could. I hope they do.
Woo, man, it's a test of my posture, Frank. This stool is killing me.
Reynolds, Silver and Angels versus Kenny, the Young Bucks. Hangman's nowhere to be found. What did you think of the match?
I was disappointed.
Really?
It was fun. I just thought that I like the stuff at the end. Where Kenny again hinting more at that mean streak.
I mean, they fucking deserved it. They gave Kenny 100%, a fucking Vandaminator and a double stomp on the chair. It looked like it killed him.
Yes, I liked that. The Dark Order actually got some offense in. They're not just comedy geeks, despite what Kenny would say on BTE. Yeah. I just was expecting a little more. I thought that, especially Kenny was kind of going through the motions a little bit, in my opinion. But maybe that's it's a choice. Maybe he's doing that on purpose. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, he hit all his Snapdragons and stuff. It's a TV match. It's not that long. Yeah. He took a bunch of really gnarly bumps on the outside.
That's true. That's true.
The raised Kataro Crusher was fucking crazy.
That was really cool.
The height he gets, that's nuts.
Maybe I'm being too harsh in this match. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? I will say this.
Alan Angel's showcase match as well.
Yeah, Alan Angels look really good. But you know what? I actually wonder what happened. So I watched this, so I couldn't watch it live. So I had to go on and find a stream that someone had uploaded. Sorry, FBI. And I watched the Fight TV version without the commercials, where they don't cut to the picture-in-picture. Yeah, and I actually do feel like it not drags, but I like having those picture-in-picture breaks where I can actually kind of take a break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so maybe I was a little tired at this point, is all I'll say. Yeah. Would be very funny if they made the pouring champagne like a dumb red card event where Jericho has special guests. You know what? Why not? That sounds stupid and fun. I'm sure Jericho could make a meal of it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
approve.
I am curious about this pay-per-view. Because
the
cards finally starting to fall into place. Yep. We don't have half the matches still, though.
No. I mean, we have 2 weeks? So we've got time.
We got time.
Yeah.
Will there even be a TNT title match?
That's a good question. Yeah,
if it is, I think it'll be Lance Archer losing to Brody Lee.
Ooh, Monster vs. Monster. People are already talking about that on Twitter. I think that could be interesting. We'll see.
Pardon me. All right, so that's crossbody suplex combo looked really cool.
Yeah.
The tombstones on the. I'm a tombstone guy on another guy.
That was very cool. Okay, again, maybe I was being too harsh. This was a fun.
Yeah,
you're right.
I thought it was a very fun match.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big story is Kenny trying to murder Alan Angels after it.
Right.
So we're like, the shift is coming. The shift is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, and part of it I think is like Kenny's sick of Hangman's bullshit too.
Right. Yeah.
Like that match is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like you have to can you even do that on TV? Do you have to save it? Because if you have to save it, you have to save it to what, February?
That's the thing, is you have to wait for Revolution, which I can't believe we're already talking about that, because that just happened. But yeah, you'd have to wait till Revolution, or you do it on one of their really important Dynamite, we give it a subtitle episodes, which is probably what they'll end up doing. We'll see.
Man, I mean, doing it on TV is pretty bold.
Could be like a number one contenders match, Frank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, it's whew. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I think we'll know in a couple weeks.
Agreed.
Oh, I lost a slide here.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Someone got out of order. So we got our Marvez with FTR. Not the best promo until Hangman shows up.
Right. Right.
Hangman flipped pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's easy to convince as long as you've got beer. It turns out
he was mad.
Yep.
FTR saying they had to fake the injury to see if they could trust the Bucks. Interesting stuff. They're just heels.
They're full of shit, obviously.
They're full of shit.
Yeah.
FTR are trying to make Hangman really insecure about losing to the Bucks. They're trying to drive a wedge, and they're trying to take those titles.
Hangman is going to be very devastated when FTR cheat to beat him. You know what I mean?
Using the tag rope.
Oh, that'd be great.
They hang the
Would love
hangman with
that.
the tag rope.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, see, now you're talking, Mike. Yeah, okay. I'm into it.
But yeah, this is... Oh, poor Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hangman is the one who's carrying the matches, but he's the one who's falling apart backstage. And now Kenny's falling apart too.
Yes.
And it is ready to be that guy that everyone just says, "Oh, be the cleaner, be this guy." Like, and he's ready to be that guy.
Right.
It's
it's actually interesting because they are sort of like parallel stories, because Hangman has kind of like spiraled into his current situation because he feels like he can't be the person that he expects himself to be because he's in the shadow of his friends and his teammates. Whereas Kenny, whether that's because he's either, quote unquote, stuck with Hangman or just like in this new situation, he can't live up to the person that the fans expect him to be. So there's like this dueling expectation storylines are at play here, and something's got to give. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I am very excited about how this angle unfolds.
Yeah.
It'll be very sad to see these guys feuding.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to see my millennial cowboy sad. That's a bummer. Or more sad? No, thank you.
No, he's gonna be sad like Sting.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to get like makeup tips from Darby.
Face paint, Hangman.
Yeah,
maybe.
So speaking of which, we've got
Yep.
Darby Allin in action. Poor Will Hobbs.
Yeah.
But hey, he actually looked good in the match.
He
Darby
did.
with a big win. The bait and switch with a new member of Team Taz.
Very funny. Yeah, and then Tony saying, I think that's Ricky Starks. And then JR's like, of course it's Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
I died.
Yeah.
Hey, Emperor's here. All right.
Hey, Emperor. How you doing? Hangman going for TNT title. So him and Brody. Kenny going for the world title. Keep them away from each other, maybe.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
We could just go back to... You know what? If it's going to be like an interim defense, we could go back to Kenny and Mox, and that could be the thing that pushes him even further over the edge. Now that you guys talk about it a little bit. Fun stuff ahead. But, so this promo, my God, Ricky Starks. He loves turtles.
Somebody finally said the turtle line on TV.
Yeah. So
many a Twitter joke has been made.
So when he came out doing like the comedy bit, I was just like, oh, where's this going?
Yep.
And man, did it go.
Oh, this promo rips. It was great.
It's amazing. Stark's promo once he gets in the ring. Also, Brian Cage looks ridiculous.
It's
what
when he wears pants, it makes him look bigger. Also, I didn't think was possible.
He needs to get his jeans taken up like a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the emo written on the chest was hilarious as well.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
But Brian Cage, the most important part of this, you know, he's got too many abs now, so he has to wear his pants lower. So it's pants are dragging on the ground.
The low rise, Frank. It's low rise.
Yeah. Ricky's intensity was just it was like a flip on a switch, man. It was awesome.
That's why he's here. He turned heads in NWA because of his promo, and now he's just upping his game even more in like stories that really have that emotional intensity.
So, I always thought that Ricky Starks was gonna be the guy who gets beaten up before you get to Brian Cage, the mini boss. I think Brian Cage is Ricky Starks' enforcer now.
That would be a bummer for Brian Cage because I think there's a lot more potential there to squeeze out of him. But at least in this,
for a little bit, I think he's gonna be Ricky's Wardlow.
Yeah, in this feud, I think you have to. And I think a lot of that's just by accident because of what Darby did to Ricky Starks' back with that skateboard, looking way gnarlier than they probably had intended.
Ricky Starks has been doing so well.
Right. You can't just make this about Darby and Brian Cage, at least not yet. I do eventually we're going to get Darby and Cage, maybe at the next big, the Dynamite hybrid pay-per-view show they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for this match.
Ricky Starks is a main event talent.
Agreed.
And that is crazy.
Yeah.
Also a guy going from enhancement dude.
Yeah.
Because he was just he did a job on Dark, right? That was his first thing.
Yep.
And him going from that to this fast is crazy.
Yeah. I will say tell me if I'm crazy when I say this, but if you're MJF, you got to be a little nervous, right?
Oh, Yeah, you got a guy who wrestles as well as Ricky Starks and is good at being a heel and a good promo.
Yeah, and has like a unique look and carries himself like a superstar. You need to start looking over your shoulder, buddy, because he coming.
Yeah, Los is right. Taz will throw anything to get back at Darby for snubbing him that one time.
Yeah, this all comes down to Darby not wanting Taz's advice, which is great. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
That's great. The first match M4 saw of Ricky Starks was his tag match against with Sammy against a mop and a broom. Nice, love it. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Walko Skellington, absolutely. The ultimate goal of this feud is for Darby to become the FTW champion, because he actually really is the embodiment of FTW that Taz was in ECW. It's just that Taz can't see that because he was, like you said, Frank, he was snubbed.
They need to articulate something for the audience about that belt, though.
Yeah,
like, saying it's like not a legit title, saying what it actually represented to Taz. Like it's the outsider title, it's not a real title. AEW doesn't recognize the title. They need to start emphasizing stuff like that. Like they have to deal with because like that's a deep cut. It's like a deep
very
cut.
Very.
So we have Matt Hardy wants to murder Sammy Guevara,
and he succeeds.
Yeah, that table bump was gnarly.
It's nuts. Sammy Guevara has no regard for his own body. It's Darby Allin-esque.
Also, I think he wanted to make it up to Matt. You know.
Oh, absolutely. I heard we talked about it. He got many a talking to backstage after that chair spot.
Yeah.
do you think this gets a gimmick for All Out, like hardcore, or you know what I mean? No disqualification.
Isn't there like some tables match coming up?
Did they announce it at the table? Oh, is that next week? They're having a tables match?
Yeah, something like that. Chat.
I think you're right. Yeah. Chat, let us know. But I think you're right, Frank.
Yeah. I still love that Matthew Hardy thing turning into like I'm just gonna be Matthew Hardy, and now he's like losing his mind.
But like scary losing his mind, like grounded in reality.
We're not doing fun chair of wheels like a reincarnation Matt Hardy. We're doing like unhinged like Matt Hardy. Good.
Absolutely. Good. Yeah. But it's like the difference between like Jack Nicholson Joker and Heath Ledger Joker. You know what I mean? To like sort of like draw a comparison.
And let's just not talk about Jared Leto Joker.
Sure, fair enough.
So Thunder Rosa promo out of nowhere holding the NWA Women's Championship. What the fuck? Very cool.
I was surprised because last I remember NWA had a working relationship with Ring of Honor, because I know like Marty Scurll really enjoyed doing his guest spots on NWA. Now obviously there is no Power right now. They haven't done one in like months and months, so they're on pause. So I guess like maybe Billy Corgan's just being cool and letting his talent, you know what I mean, like to get some dates in.
Yeah. But Thunder Rosa would be a welcome addition to the women's division in AEW.
Agreed.
To the point, this is the All Out match, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't just for TV.
No, I'm pretty sure it's set. Yeah, Sheeta and Ivelisse. Yeah.
Wait, no, Sheeta and Thunder Rosa, right?
Or Thunder Rosa, excuse me. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I love, by the way, I mean, we've got two people with half face paint. Actually, three. We have three people in this company with half face paint, because we can never do something once in AEW. It has to be done like 5 times all at once. But I do love her like sort of Dia de los Muertos gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Thunder Rosa's awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm glad that she's going to be able to wrestle women like Sheeta. Now, the NWA women's division had some talent, but it was a small pool of talent. Now let's see what she can do here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They needed someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's the finals of the Deadly Draw. They got to television, everybody.
Yeah.
They got to television.
Got Vita Scott on commentary, doing a great job.
We still only got one women's match on Dynamite, though.
Look, I totally understand the criticism, but like the thing to keep in mind is like they're building this thing from scratch, and they've had to do it twice now. They've had to start over basically from nothing.
There were only 5 matches on this show as well.
Right.
So
I feel like if they just started like cramming in 2 to 3, like obviously we want the women's division to succeed. I'd like to see more matches, but at the same time,
they get more than 2 minutes as well.
They need to build they need to build the characters and the stars up. So it's like there is that fine line they have to walk, because like historically speaking, the women's matches have been like sort of like seen dips in ratings. You know what I mean? Not to just be a rating show, but like they have to worry about that stuff as a new company. So I think this will come. You know, first they built the
have
AEW
Rio
brand
right now. They just don't
well,
have Rio,
who
was actually like a legit ratings draw. It turned out for the promotion.
Yeah, but they're doing this in stages. It was like, first let's build the main brand. Let's establish a world champion. All right, now it's time for the tag team titles. We'll build that up. Then it was Cody time with the TNT title. Now that's established. I think now if they can once again turn the focus to building up the women's division. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. By the way, do you think we're gonna like just to digress momentarily? TNT title, do you think we're gonna see like that? Actually, no. We'll save that. We'll save that discussion for the next one. But okay, so this was a really good match. Diamante Ivelisse beating Brandy and Allie for the trophy. I didn't like the finish.
It came out of nowhere.
I didn't like the finish, but I thought it was a good, solid match, and the right people won, so I can't be mad, right?
Agreed. Yeah, they actually, they worked us, Frank. They teased that they threatened us by having Brandy and Allie going over, knowing
Tom Brandy always goes over.
But no, they know that the internet for some reason does not like Brandy. This was an easy way to get heat on the match. You know, it's that kind of that meta heat that they do with like Roman Reigns and the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And the right team wins, and it's an even better moment, because the whole time in the back of your head you're like, is Brandy and Allie gonna win this thing?
We're gonna get the Brandy and Allie feud now, so we get like we've got another feud going. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess they we talked about this during the dark portion of the show. I guess they've signed Diamante and Ivelisse, and if they haven't, like they probably need to.
Agreed. Yeah. They're both great. Like Diamante she could be a star with the right booking.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Ivelisse has been a little rusty, but Ivelisse hasn't wrestled a whole lot lately. In general.
She also just got new gear. She looked a little chintzy before, like kind of cheap gear, like indie gear. This is professional national gear.
Really good look for Ivelisse this week. Looked much better in the ring too. Before it seemed like a little static, a little bit slow motion.
Yep.
I thought that everyone did a really good job here. Allie's really good. Allie's really good. Time to build Allie up a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because we're literally having to hire outside people for, title matches for her.
Right, and she's right there. Yeah.
She's right there.
Wildco Skellington thinks that maybe Diamante could use some new. Yeah, I don't think the bullet.
Well, Diamante's still in LAX gear too.
Right, but it's just
it literally says LAX on the gear.
that gear is fine, but you know how, unfortunately, how this shit works in the States. We're one bad day away from that being a bad taste look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would move off of the bullet holes myself.
Yeah. But yeah, slamming down the flowers was fun. Hoisting the flags.
Awesome. Love
Unified.
that.
Cool. Yep. Glad that they have dedicated time to these two in particular. They had their singles match out of nowhere on Dynamite, and everyone's like, what the fuck? These are two new wrestlers just randomly having a match, and it went somewhere. Just pay attention, go with it. You are rewarded for paying attention on this show. I
absolutely
appreciate it so much, where it's I don't feel like my intelligence is being insulted every week watching this show. Because at first I was just like, man, out of nowhere, no vignettes, nothing. I mean, sure, they could have done it a little bit better, but they put a whole YouTube show out there to reestablish the women's division and build it back as fast as they could. They're listening. Sure, they haven't crammed the show full of women's matches yet, but they'll get there. I know they'll get there.
Yeah, just need some time.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate it was an unfortunate situation, relying purely on outside Joshi talent. I wish it worked.
Yeah,
and I hope it can work again in the future. But
it would have if we hadn't we didn't have to close everything.
Yeah, so. Once in 100-year problem.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah. So this was awesome. Great time.
And now, Frank. It's time.
People thought Cody was gonna win.
I thought he was gonna win.
I was wondering what overbooked Cody stuff they would do.
The Rhodes fuckery. I was expecting something. Yep.
Hell yes. Cody comes in and he's coiffing his hair and posing for the camera. He's
Prince
the
of
Prince of Pro
Wrestling.
Wrestling. He's laughing. And then Brody Lee kicks his ass for, 6 minutes?
If that, Frank. It was like 5 minutes, dude. It was wild.
He destroys him. I mean, I texted you.
Yeah.
Before this match, and I don't want to spoil it because I knew you were watching a little later. Where I'm just like, whatever they're paying Brody Lee, it was a steal.
Not enough.
This guy is amazing. He's money.
And it's a culmination of a complete revamping and repackaging of Dark Order. Scott Steiner out my window. Yeah.
Woo!
But no, like you think about where we were at the end of December, where Dark Order, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and a couple minions attacked the Elite. Everyone was like, "Well, that was kind of a shitty ending to the year." Yeah. Look how far they've come.
And they
incredible.
That's one of the things that they jettisoned as well.
Yeah,
like they were just like, "Oh, we have to back off of this like Elite Dark Order feud."
Yeah.
What a great thing to do on your special Saturday show as well.
Yeah. Well, it's shocking.
Yeah. This I hate to talk too much about WWE stuff but you have to compare things. Cena's Open Challenge was awesome.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite things that John Cena's done his entire career. It was great having awesome matches with like Cesaro, Sami Zayn, just awesome stuff. And then they ended it with Del Rio returning, starting Mex America and beating John Cena.
Oh shit! That was how that ended.
That was the end of that one. Cody's Open Challenge, putting like a spotlight during a difficult time on great indie talent. The only kind of weird misstep was maybe just like how Scorpio Sky was beaten.
Yeah. Well, but again, I think that's telling a larger story for Scorpio. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. But having these cool, interesting matches, they built a story for this as well.
Yep.
And Brody Lee kicked Cody's ass.
Yeah.
Just like smacking him into the guardrail to go straight for the ribs and just beat him down. Not a single offensive move for Cody. It was like the Brock Lesnar obliteration of John Cena as well, combined with the end of John Cena's Open Challenge run. Great stuff. Cody had good matches for every part of the Open Challenge against everyone. People were most down, I think, on the Warhorse match. No, I think Warhorse looked good in that match. I think they could have given him a little shine afterwards.
That was the big misstep. Yeah.
But great run. Where do you go from here? Did Cody just get humbled, or is Cody going to come back with like a coat and like a cigar?
Well, I think Cody, first of all, probably off TV for quite some time. I would say if I was in charge, at least a month. Just disappears.
Oh, seriously, this is masterfully done. Cody does come off overconfident walking into the ring as he had going into this, but he has bad ribs from like the last 3 weeks of matches.
It's a combination of overconfidence and the hubris of attempting to do an open challenge of this nature. You know what I mean? Like it's a combination of the two, for sure.
And I mean, you think about that Kingston match. Like Cody got his ass kicked in that match.
Probably the best match of his run, right? Would you say?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also it led to Eddie Kingston being signed by the company, and now what we awesome, just awesome stuff. Brody Lee. Okay, here's the thing. Cody lost nothing. Nope. Cody gained a lot in this. We don't know where his character's going to go when he comes back, what it's going to be like, the story that results in this. I don't think he's going straight back for Brody Lee after this either. No. I don't think there's going to be a rematch. Like,
why would Brody Lee give him a rematch? Like, it seems to be that, like, there's no reason that Brody, he's probably not going to continue this open challenge. Like, fuck that.
Yeah. So Cody didn't get, like, squashed, Cyrix. Cody lost and got no offense, but it was a sustained thing. Yeah. Where Brody just stayed on offense with big moves and put him away with his finish. Like, it wasn't like a big boot powerbomb 1, 2, 3.
Right. You know what it reminded me of, actually?
It's a 100% one-sided match.
It's a story from Rocky 3. This is Clubber Lang showing up and destroying Rocky and taking the title. Yeah. And it wasn't just like Cody took his hits, and he didn't kick out of a pinfall. There were no near falls in this match. Nope.
Like, it was just definitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's a different kind of squash match, the type you don't see very often. And it fully reestablished Brody Lee as this big heel. And again, we said that he lost nothing in his loss to Moxley. He got DDT'd through the ramp.
Yeah. He had to get choked out to lose.
Yeah. Just brilliant stuff, especially with like learning more about Brody Lee on BTE, like to balance his character out like a little bit, which is not canon. Like that type of Brody Lee character I don't think is canon to Dynamite. But
yeah, no, again, that's one of those gray areas.
Yeah, you can see the breadth to the character. What an excellent push for a guy. This is huge.
Yeah.
Great end to the show.
So Wow Cool Skellington brings up what I think is the most, I said Skellington, whoops. Brings up, I think, one of the most interesting and important parts of the entire presentation of this last segment, not just the match itself, but the promo that follows. So obviously, and Frank, I don't know if you have any slides on this, but we get the attack by Brody and the Dark Order on Cody and the Nightmare Family. But really interesting. So Brody goes out of his way.
Getting thrown off the stretcher.
Right. Well, and then Brody also attacks Arn Anderson, and he's specifically attacking who he calls the executive. And he's mad that the executives have held him back and ruined his career, not given him his chance. And this belt now is validation for this character and for this Dark Order movement. And it's basically him.
The old title on Cody's head in the bag was amazing. Yeah. They even got Anna Jay to choke out Brandy.
Very cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see where this goes, because if the Brody Lee character is the bad guy, but also he's like painting himself as the like anti-corporate,
MJF has like a bit of that too, right?
Yeah, but it makes me wonder who's the guy that comes at him next. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's kind of a mystery right now.
Yeah. Lowe's brings up this actually, like, and I don't mean this as like a dig, but like, yeah, Dustin versus Brody Lee kind of makes sense. It is that kind of underwhelming booking that AEW occasionally does, where they give you a match where you're like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, like you mean like Dustin and Hager?
Exactly. Oh yeah, or Brody or Cardona. You know what?
Brody and Cardona could be good.
It's probably Brody and Cardona. Now that you say that. And that actually connects those stories too, is that like sort of Brody can see some of himself in Cardona, but also defeat him. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's got the Elite's attention? Like, because Cody hasn't really been with the Elite for a long time at this point.
Since they didn't come out and help.
Yeah, but like, has this like got their attention? Are they gonna do something now?
We'll see. I mean, they've been entangled with the Elite, the Dark Order has. So if this is a way to connect the two groups, the Nightmare Family and the Elite, that'll be interesting. But I don't even think Cody's not Elite anymore, really. He's in his own thing. Like, they've kind of made that clear, I think. I'm really curious to see how this time, everything that's been going on with the Nightmare Family so far. Like, Brandy's been a heel, kind of. Oh, is she a babyface now? Okay, well, what the hell was that all about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, where do we go from here? The new season of AEW, I feel like, begins after All Out.
Agreed.
And I am very, very excited for it.
Do you think the Alley QT thing will connect to the Dark Order?
They
ultimately?
have to. They have to.
Right?
Maybe QT was one of those Dark Order guys.
Yeah.
Like,
that would make sense. Or at least Alley is trying to get in, because QT is kind of like getting the Dark Order treatment without actually being in the Dark Order, right? Like, Alley has taken a guy who was a loser and built him up, right? So you could make the connection.
Says like maybe like by that point it could be a Cody rematch, and he loses a regular match
in 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, they could do that. But in my opinion, that's AEW doesn't like to do a ton of rematches. Like, I'm shocked that we're getting a rubber match this early for Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, if I'm being honest.
I think they just need to get out of that angle.
Yeah,
and
but
I think
it's odd.
Does Arn drop Cody? Does this have anything to do with a potential Horseman stable with like FTR and Spears?
Yeah, maybe Cody's like, I need, like kind of like FTR did. He's like, I got to turn to the dark side, turn to Tully, get an edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He has to make a deal with the devil, with even Spears.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that could happen, and I'm excited. That Dark Order attack on Arn Anderson, so cruel.
Very cruel. Very odd. Very cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just so excited about where we're going.
Yeah.
And we're very excited to have you, dear listeners or watchers, if you're on YouTube. Hello.
Hello.
And everyone on Twitch. We really appreciate you following along with us. I love being rewarded for watching professional wrestling. I hope you're feeling rewarded too, watching all the AEW programming, because I know I am. Starks is too long, please.
Please.
Please, I need some of my week back. I'm very tired. And yeah, thank you to you people in the chat. Wow, Cool Skeleton, thank you so much for hanging out. And everybody who comes back every week, we really appreciate it. Like Cyrix, Los, Emperor, It's awesome to see you. If you're new, please hit that follow button. I thoroughly appreciate it, so you can check us out every time we do this show. We try and do it every week. We'll be back next weekend, it sounds like.
I think so. And hit us up on Twitter at TIAPod. It's the Twitter for I'm too lazy to maintain. But I want to know if everyone's digging these sort of like middle of the day weekend streams versus like the nighttime streams we used to do. For me, these are pretty great. I like this, but I don't know. Maybe you're like, I got something better to do on a Sunday. I don't know what.
Every day is exactly the same now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we really appreciate you joining us. We do this a lot, so yeah. We also have new episodes coming up of This Is Awesome. Our other podcast where we watch the greatest wrestling matches of all time, suggested by you, the listener. So
we got a real good one on Monday, Frank. A real good one.
This is a banger of a show on Monday. I think you guys are gonna really dig it. But yeah, you can get those episodes at thisisawesomepod.com. If you want to suggest a match, add us on Twitter at TIAPod.
It's true.
I feel like we got some more Jericho matches to do at some point, right?
I think so. Jericho, I'd love to do another. You know what I mean? Maybe match with Randall Orton, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Okay.
I hear he's big for 50 plus. Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. And until next time, watch Elite. Watch Elite. I gotta press the outro. All right. Catch you guys later. Bye.
Boom.